What's up, everyone? This is Greenlight Your Own Life with Tiana today, the podcast. And yes, this is just the third episode, and we are in person. I'm so excited. Why? Because my guest is somebody who I have unexpectedly reconnected with, and she continues to remind me that the sky is the limit. So thank you for joining today, and thank you, Menina Fortunato, for joining me.
Yay, thank you. I'm so excited and so honored that your first in-studio podcast is with me.
We have a lot of firsts.
Yes, this past year has been a wild adventure.
Let's start with the first of a Canadian tuxedo.
When we talked about doing this, I was like, what do you want to wear? And you were like, let's go with a Canadian tuxedo look. And I said, what's that?
And let's start with, you're Canadian. I thought, she definitely knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm Canadian and I never heard the term. And I was like, what's a Canadian tuxedo? She's like, denim on denim. And I'm like, I didn't get that. I mean, I'm not a fashionista like you are. So I was like, well, maybe this is some like high fashion term that maybe I'm just not hip to the lingo. So I looked it up on ChatGPT, and then apparently Bing Crosby in the 90s went to a Vancouver hotel where I'm from and was denied entry because of his denim. And I guess Levi, the jean company, heard about the incident and then created a denim on denim tuxedo jacket and look. So then it became known as Canadian tuxedo.
And look at us now.
And here we are, I guess, Canadian tuxedo, and I'm Canadian. I never even knew the term existed. And who knows, maybe other Canadians are aware and I'm just not hip to it. But.
No, that's our first casual first. But our other first is the fact that we reconnected within the past year because I had a silly idea that I was toying with, and you reached out and said, I want to help you. And what is so fabulous is that you do this for a lot of people.
Thank you.
You have a big heart.
Thank you.
And if anyone needs to understand all the great things, I have to give them a little bit of a rundown on exactly who you are. So
okay.
Menina has performed with global icons like Beyonce, Britney Spears, Paula, Abdul, and Earth, Wind, and Fire, and appeared on major shows like America's Got Talent, The X Factor, and Dance Moms.
Yes.
And you're a dance mom.
And I'm a dance mom now.
Exactly.
My daughter is rehearsing with JoJo Siwa from Dance Moms right now.
I mean, literally.
6 minutes away from here.
Oh, I love it. Okay, with no formal business training, you launched the Business of Dance mentorship program and podcast, now responsible for helping dancers book gigs with Disney, Netflix, Nike, and the Super Bowl halftime show. Do you feel completely fulfilled when you hear things like that?
It is a wild ride because the Business of Dance really is my newest baby. It's only been 3 years.
It's only been 3 years?
Yeah. I've been mentoring dancers for decades informally. Like I call it my first baby, was the Hollywood Summer Tour, which is an in-person dance experience that I started 20 years ago, 2006.
The thing I went to this summer?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I had already naturally was mentoring dancers back then through in-person. I would do the event. The parents would come ask me, so you told us we need headshots, resumes, demo reels, cast agents, all these things. So how do we do this? Mm-hmm. So naturally, I would just give my time and help them with whatever they needed. And it wasn't until the lockdown of 2020 that everything was pivoting online. I couldn't do my events anymore.
Dang.
And it was one of those... well, maybe I can figure this out. Maybe I can do something online. My husband was the one that was encouraging me. I knew I didn't want to teach Zoom dance classes. I had that Zoom dance class experience, and that was not fun. And I quickly, it was a spontaneous idea. Yeah. It wasn't something that, it wasn't like I planned this for a long time. It was a really spontaneous thing. The first in-person event that I was able to do in 2022, 3 years ago, I faced a real dilemma of, I barely had enough money to run the event, and I just had baby number 3. Oh and I was thinking, like, what am I going to do with my life? After this event, I have nothing. And I was, we were just kind of getting back in the swing of things. I'm like, I want a lockdown-proof business that I don't have to, because those 2 years prior, that 2020 to 2022 was hard. Like I couldn't travel. I couldn't do industry work. I was also dealing with being a mom for the 3rd time. So everyone was pivoting online. I didn't know what I didn't know. And I did hire a business coach back then. And I followed.
Wait, how did you know to hire a business coach?
My back was against the wall and I needed help.
So you just searched online. You were
initially I was doing every free webinar, free lead magnet. Yeah. I'm sure you've seen all those ads for I was just like plugging into things, thinking I could do things the free way initially or the super cheap way because I was broke at the time. And it wasn't until I was joining all these high ticket coaching Facebook groups.
Okay.
So I wanted to learn how to do high ticket sales online. And I joined this random group and I got a DM from this guy and he started asking me questions and then he invited me to a call. And I was like, I'm going to be honest, I'm broke. I'm not going to be your client. I was so like,
the guard was up.
The guard was up. I was like, it's not going to happen. And it's okay. We just want to talk to you and see if we can help. Okay? Yeah. So I remember I broke down into tears during that call and I was like, I need help. I have the money. I can't afford any of this. Da, da, da. And then his mind was, well, how can we get you the money? I didn't have a credit card to use. I destroyed my credit. I depleted my savings. Like I had nothing to my name at the time. And it was a big investment for my first coach.
I can imagine.
And so I was like, I want to do this. I need the help. How do I do it? So I did a promotion for the Hollywood Summer Tour. My deadline was coming up in June and for people to register. So he's like, well, why don't you do a promotion to incentivize people to pay early? So I did this whole promo where you could get this huge discount if you paid in full by like next week. Okay. And I made $30K.
Oh my gosh.
So I was able to take some of that money and I invested it in the coach. And I was like, okay, this is my money, but it's not.
Right.
This is for my event. So not only do I have to make this money back, but I need to double it in the next 30 days. So when I say I was like one track mind, like, whoom, like tell me what to do and I will just follow because I don't know what I'm doing. I've struggled for 2 years, trying to just figure things out. I didn't know what I didn't know. And following his roadmap and his sales strategies, I did a pitch at the Hollywood Summer Tour at the end, like when you did your presentation.
You presented an idea of what else they can do.
It was just a Canva presentation. That's all it was. And I had this vision of what this business of dance online mentorship would be. I had an outline. I had nothing else created. It was just an idea. I was like, let me just pitch it and see if anybody bites.
What do you have to lose at that point?
Exactly. And that's when I was like back against the wall. I'm like, well, I got nothing else coming up, so I better figure this out.
Yeah.
So I did the pitch and I gave them this like fast action pricing if they bought at the end of the day. And then I made $17K on that day.
My goodness.
And that was the big, like, I think I'm onto something here.
Yeah.
And then a month, so those were my first 5 clients. I started with a beta group of 10.
Okay.
And I did recruit 5 more dancers. We started in the fall 3 years ago. This month, October.
Wow. Okay.
And I started with my beta group. I built it with them. I had an idea of what I wanted, but then they started adding things. Oh, well, we want to learn about this and learn about that. And they were even mentioning topics. I'm like, I don't know anything about that. So I started bringing people in. So I have a tax advisor. I have an investment advisor. I have nutritionists. I had a college prep advisor. So I was bringing other experts to teach on topics that I didn't know. And fast forward 3 years later, knee deep. I've served over 300 plus dancers from around the world through the mentorship.
And you're a mom. I'm just trying to like really compute all this too because
I'm a wife and I'm a mom. I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
And 2 dogs.
Oh my gosh. I know you do it all. And you do it also, you do it with such grace too. And it's really impressive. And I feel like the momentum is on a huge upswing too, because you're not stopping anytime soon.
No, I just feel like we're getting started.
I think so too.
I've got 18 mentees right now with JoJo Siwa in rehearsals, performing at Industry Dance Awards and Gala of the Stars. I have 3 kids right now this weekend doing LA Fashion Week.
Oh, work.
I have a dancer that just signed with MSA New York. I have another dancer that signed with Premier Talent in Vancouver. This is just wins in the last week. And this is a reoccurring thing. And I get tagged on stuff on Instagram. I'm like, oh, cool, they're doing that. Oh, cool. Like, I can't even keep up with all of their, and we have a Winning Wednesdays in our little group. So that's where I get to see like what they're actually up to. And I tell them, just tag me on things because I'll never see it on my feed. The algorithms don't always show what I want to see. So it is beautiful to see them and to just be a facilitator for them and to be a connector for them and to be a guide and just to support them because I'm giving them what I wish I had because you and I came from a generation where we didn't have social media. We didn't have access to the who's who of dance. We had to get physically in the room.
Yes.
And we had to go to in-person auditions. And it was a different beast back then. Now I'm able to put people like you and agents and casting directors and other dancers and influencers literally in their living room, because we do this virtually online. Just last week we had Tina Landon and we had Julie McDonald, just recently.
Gosh, I know when I saw Tina Landon on your podcast, I was like, you got Tina Landon! I was so
I admired her work since the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Imitating Janet Jackson.
Velvet
Rope Tour, still my favorite, and Janet's going to be at Gala of the Stars
I saw
next week.
And Gil, is he getting honored too?
Gil is presenting. Actually,
he's presenting. I just saw it on my social media.
Yeah, he's presenting. It's all the who's who of dance that are all going to be there. And now I get to host the red carpet at Industry Dance Awards and Gala of the Stars, which I did last year.
Yep.
So I'm back again.
I love it.
Which is technically a part of my Business of Dance podcast, because the interviews, we do a compilation and then it becomes an episode for the Business of Dance. So I'm actually considered media.
You're media.
I'm actually media. Like last year, it was wild. At Gala of the Stars, Beverly Hilton, in the same room as the Golden Globes.
Okay.
There's E! News, People Magazine, Us Weekly, and Little Business of Dance.
The best part too is I know when people come to you, they're talking to their friend because you've been in the industry with them.
It's a different conversation.
It's a different conversation than they're just going to go talk to somebody at E! News. It's the homie hangout, and you guys are dolled up, and it's a beautiful night of celebration,
nice.
Right?
Yeah, it's just a reunion. It's like a reunion with all my friends. I mean, there's some people I don't know, and I met for the first time. I interviewed Paula Abdul, and that was really an honor and a privilege, because she was like the first concert I'd ever been to when I was 12. So there were some people that I was really, really excited to meet, and some people was just like a reunion with old friends I hadn't seen in a while. And then, yes, there were some people that I'd never met before for the first time. But yes, it definitely, I can speak their language, and I can tell the other reporters, they don't know anything about dance.
And it's a hard language to just, crack in like 2 minutes.
And they don't know, like, they're just asking for gossip news. And I'm like, how's life? What's going on in your world with dance? And so it is nice I feel very connected to the dance community. So it feels very natural to have these conversations. I don't know if I would feel that confident if I was doing, the red carpet for some other celebrity.
For actors or
models. Like, I'd be like, I don't know who these people are. But for dance, I'm like, oh, come on over.
Yeah, you're in the right lane for sure.
So it feels good. And that wasn't even supposed to happen too.
I know. How did you get there last year?
So there's a whole story behind that. So through the mentorship program, every Sunday I bring in a guest. And and you've been a guest, and we do a Q&A, and there's really great conversations, a lot of great storytelling. And it was actually Vincent Patterson was the first person to say, is this going to be a podcast episode? And I was like, no, should it be?
I love these pivotal questions that just happen, and you're like, I have to really think about this.
And I was like, it's going to live in our Facebook group, or the replay. He's like, well, this was a really good interview. You should make it a podcast. And I pondered. I was like, well, I don't know anything about podcasting. So I'm like, okay, maybe. And then same thing happened again when I interviewed Paul Becker. Is this going to be a podcast episode? I'm like, maybe?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm like, maybe. But again, still knowing nothing about podcasting.
It's a whole new world. Like, how do you say yes to something that you have zero experience
knowledge, expertise, education? Like, it was really a crash course. Okay, I need artwork. I need distribution. How do I get distribution? Let me find somebody on Fiverr for that. Let me figure out the artwork. I need an editor. Okay, we're going to do this. And we need to create show notes. Oh, what are show notes? How do I structure this?
You're much better at it than me. I am DIY, figuring out my own.
No, but it was DIY at the beginning.
That's true. That's very true.
I was throwing duct taping everything together until I finally streamlined it. Now I have SOPs, and I have a virtual assistant, and she makes it all run smoothly. So now I just record, and then they handle the rest, and it gets released. The only thing I do is a little shout out on my Instagram to announce the new episode. That's the episode of the week. So and so here we are. And earlier today, I recorded my 100th episode.
Oh my gosh, yes. How was that?
It was so good. It was so good. My friend Linda, who we've known each other since we were 5.
It's a good friendship right there.
Way back from Vancouver. We used to do gymnastics together at 5. We weren't really friends then. We just were in the same class.
Okay.
And then we reconnected 10 years later in a dance studio. And then I was like, you look familiar. And then I went into my little archive of photos. And one week I was like, is this you? I'm like, that's me. And like, we were in gymnastics together. And she was like, what? Anyways, we hit it off. And we both ended up pursuing dance. She owns this dance studio here in LA now. And we both became moms and wives and
business ladies.
And I've in and out. If there's anyone that knows me well, and at least in LA, it's her. So we flipped the script. She interviewed me.
I know. I love that.
She interviewed me and put me in the hot seat because I'm always the one interviewing others.
I know. You're in the hot seat here too,
so
lady.
Today.
Yeah.
So you feeling good?
I know. This is great. Okay. So there's a couple things that I want to say because you have such great nuggets of knowledge. But what I want to ask you first is because there's so many things that you have greenlit in your life. It's not just one and it continues to grow. But what is the example in your life that showed you to think this way?
My mother. She had, I would like to say, a midlife crisis at 40. She was working for the federal government of Canada. She had the whole 9-to-5 salary pension, the good job, but she wasn't fulfilled. And she was a dancer and choreographer many years ago. That's how my parents met. They met in Club Med. She was the choreographer. She needed a dance partner. He didn't dance. She thought it was cute. They got together, got married, had me. I was baby number 1 of 3. Okay. So she always loved dance. And at that time, I was a competitive kid. So she was a dance mom. We were going to lots of competitions. And there were certain things about the competition. She's like, I think it should be like this. I think it should be like this. And she's like, I'm just going to start my own. So she decided, I was 13 at the time, I want to start a dance competition. 5, 6, 7, 8 Showtime. It's been around for over 30 years. And I was the little kid on the sidelines helping her build this business. Literally like creating registration forms, all by paper in those days. We were building trophies in our basement. I was backstage manager. I was MC. I was selling tickets. Like I was wearing all the hats.
You've been a producer since you were a baby.
I was a producer without knowing what the title was. And seeing her, like it was just an idea. She put it into action and witnessing her do it and finally find what I believe was her purpose really showed me the example of if you want to do something, just go do it. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for somebody to tell you should go do it. Just go do it. So I guess just naturally when you have an idea, you do it. That's what I saw.
Thank God you had that example because that doesn't happen for everyone.
Yeah, looking back now, I think that was an exceptional environment to be in because most people wait for permission to do something.
Yes.
You know, and she even did it kind of against my father's will initially because he was like, oh, no, you're not quitting that job. He owned a dance studio. And he's an independent contractor at the time, whereas my mother, she had the secure job, the regular paycheck. At first, he just thought it was just one of her crazy ideas. And it wasn't until maybe 3 years in that it started to actually make some real money. And then it became to the point where he ended up closing his own studio down to focus on this. And this became their baby. And they built it up to a 7-figure business. And now they're kind of semi-retired. My brother took over. So yeah, being able to see her just follow her heart, I think gave me the permission of if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to always tell people about it. And I'm going to work quietly in the beginning.
That's right.
Because that's what I do with everything. When I hired my business coach, I worked quietly. I didn't even tell my husband or my family. Before I moved to LA to pursue the dance dream, I didn't even tell my parents that I hired an immigration attorney to get the work visa.
You just made it happen.
Well, there's a whole story to that. I was 18, just visiting. I met a dancer who was trying to get their work visa. And I was like, how do you do that? They're like, oh, I hired this attorney. I was like, okay, well, who is it? Go to Santa Monica, 18 years old. What do I know about immigration law? And I'm like, so I'm Canadian. I want to move here. What do I need to do? And then he gave me a whole list of all the things that needs to happen. And I was like, okay, I guess I better get to work. And it was $2,000 for her services. Okay. So it's like, Mom, Dad, I need $2,000 for what? I'd hire an immigration attorney. Like, what? Are you crazy? And they said no. So I said, fine. So I was teaching dance at the time. So I saved my money. I stashed it away.
That's right.
I hired the immigration attorney quietly. I got all the documentation quietly. I got my letters of references, my contracts, my pay stubs, my whatever else I had, gathered it quietly. I applied quietly. And I got approved just a few days before Christmas. And on Christmas Day, I said, Mom, Dad, I'm moving to LA. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, I got my work visa. I have an agent and I'm going to finish out the teaching year and then I'll be there in the summer. And they're like, what? So I didn't wait for permission. I just did it.
And you know what, though? I think it's something to be really said that you were 18 years old and you earned it. And at that age, you fought for it. And when you fight for something, you take care of it and you appreciate it and then you make it count. And I think that's what, thank God your parents said no. They said yes and then you get it and then you don't really get here.
Mommy and daddy could have paid for it.
Totally.
And then I would have been like, oh yeah, sure, I can use that later, not go. But I was like, I paid for this. I'm using it. I'm going.
Yes.
And then I packed my bags, my clothes, my car, a computer, CD collection, because that was important.
I get it.
Summer of 2001.
I know, and we moved here at the same time.
Yes,
That
and I didn't even
trips me
know
out.
you. And I worked with Britney first, and you were with Britney right after.
Yeah.
And then we were supposed to be on the same job. I think I told you this story.
Yeah. What was the
Slave
job?
music
Yes.
video. I did Pepsi, and then you did VMAs.
Yep.
Right after, and then I got booked on the Slave video. But then I was told there was a miscommunication. Maybe there's a different story, but what I was told was there was a miscommunication between the choreography team and the director. They booked 50 dancers.
Yes.
But they only ended up using 15. So 35 of us were cut, and I was one of them.
But but on the commercial, it was tons of you.
No. On the commercial, no, that was a separate project.
Yeah, okay.
I did the Pepsi commercial, the whole Super Bowl thing.
Yeah.
Which was a great job. But right after that, I was supposed to be direct booked for the Slave video. And I stupidly just told the whole world, I'm going to be in Britney Spears' new music video. And then I was like, oh, never mind. Not happening. And then I saw the video and I was like, oh.
That's the one thing I did do quietly. I was like, oh, I got a gig. And then I was like, I don't know if I should really talk about this. When it came out, I was like, so I'm in this video, Mom.
I'm kind of breathing on people.
When they were breathing on each other, I really stepped away. I don't tell Grandma.
But seriously, that was like iconic. I think that's one of my favorite Britney.
It was a good one. It was a good one. I'm scared for my children to see it. Speaking of children, what your mother has instilled in you, how are you now? This is totally left, but how are you putting that on to your kids?
My kids.
Yeah.
I am not preaching anything, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think them just observing and watching me, I think is the greatest teacher. I feel like they know mommy works. When mommy is on the computer and doing Zoom calls, you don't talk to mommy because mommy's busy. Although my son always finds a way to come be like, Mommy, can I have Roblox or Robux or whatever it is? In the middle of a Zoom call, and I'm like, fine, just go away.
I get it.
And I hate that game, but whatever.
I've surrendered. If my kids come in, I'm like, sorry, can you give me, and it's like so welcome now. I make it very known. I am a mom of two.
Yes.
And when they come in, I'm going to give them my attention. And I don't know, it also makes the conversation just a little bit less stiff. Yeah. Because they're like, oh, you got kids? You got to go? I was like, yeah, I got to go.
Well, sometimes I'm in a Zoom with 30 people and I'm like, or I'm doing an interview for Business of Dance.
Yeah.
And then the guest, and I'm like muting myself.
The beauty of mute. Yes.
And I'm like, or turn my camera off for a quick second. I'm like, Mommy, go.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi.
It's hard. Working from home is not, it's good and it has those moments, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have dogs as well, so I have to crate them when I have an important Zoom call.
I bet.
Sometimes they're just at my feet and it's fine if it's just a one-on-one, but if it's an important, a podcast, I really have to focus, that's when I have to crate them because they are also, can be rambunctious. But my two older girls, they know best not to bother me.
Because how old are they?
15, 10, and 5. It's the 5-year-old that's more like...
Yep.
And he grew up with seeing mommy on Zoom calls, and he used to be on my lap, and every now and then we'll come, say hi, and, wave to whoever's on the call with. So, yeah, I think them just, to answer your question, just seeing me in my element, I don't know what that will do for them in the long run, but I don't think children do as you say, they do as you do.
Absolutely.
So I think I just want to be an example to show them that mommy still has dreams and mommy wants to still pursue her dreams, because then I'm showing them that they can do it too.
Absolutely.
Which is essentially what my mother did indirectly with me. She didn't intentionally do it, but looking back, seeing them just live their life, I remember I was told, oh, once you have kids, you'll never be able to travel. Well, I was just in 6 countries this summer with my kids.
I couldn't keep up with how many places you visited. I said, oh my gosh. And I loved it. And you guys were just like this beautiful family.
It's living life and chaotic, and it's organized chaos.
Those 2 words together make me so happy.
It's just organized chaos.
Yeah.
Everything is organized, but at the same time, it's also very chaotic. Living out of suitcases in the summer months, because that's usually the best time to travel with the kids because they're out of school. So yeah, I'm able to, now that I have a remote business, I literally have a computer and a phone. That's all I need, and Wi-Fi. And I can operate from, like, I was in Thailand and I was doing Zoom calls from Thailand in the villa, and then going to have $6 massages.
Girl.
And $3 pad thai.
You were doing it. I was going to say, and maybe this is the answer, but my question was like, what has surprised you the most out of mostly the last, I guess, 3 years? Because this has been the focus of the conversation, but what has surprised you the most?
I think that I thought during the pandemic that my career was done. There was a part of me was like, so is this it? Am I done? And I know deep down, like my parents were even, Menina, there's a shortage of French teachers because I'm French Canadian. Maybe you should just like go get a 9-to-5 job, and you've done this dance thing a really long time. It's okay. You can get something with steady paycheck. And I was so stubborn. I was like, no, I do not want to be a school teacher. They're like, oh, but, and I'm like, no, I want to do something with dance. I don't know what it is. I can't figure it out. I don't have my finger on it right this second, but I'm going to figure it out. And there was a lot of throwing spaghetti at the wall, because even before 2020 to 2022, I had a whole mom dance fitness program.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I'm doing Zoom dance classes with a crying baby. And that was a little bit chaotic. And I felt like I was begging people to come to class. I was like, come, free class, free trial. How did I go from having this amazing career to barely making $500 a month to feeling like I was desperate for people to take a dance class with a mom with this crying baby? Oh my gosh, my life is like done. Like, this is not. So what shocked me the most is I had to have that breakdown to have the breakthrough. And looking back, that was actually a blessing in disguise. Losing everything gave me a real sense of purpose of, okay, I get a chance. I have nothing to lose because I have nothing left. And I'm going to just give it my all, try something new. And like I said in the beginning, it was just a spontaneous idea, a Canva presentation created in a day, a random pitch, a aha moment of, oh, I guess I'm on to something. And now it's my main bread and butter. It's 99% of my time is the business of dance. Now with the Hollywood Summer Tour, which is my annual, now going on 20 years of doing that. What's also surprised me is the new doors that have opened up that I never saw coming. To be able to, looking back at interviewing Paula Abdul, I would have never imagined that on the red carpet, or doing 100 episodes of I didn't even know what a podcast was a few years ago.
I know. We're talking about podcasts. Then we're talking about a whole mentorship. Also, were you in Times Square? Your billboard,
I got a billboard.
Like you're unstoppable. How did that happen?
I ended up hiring a publicist thanks to my other business coach who used to own a PR firm. They connected me to a publicist, and they're like, Menina, with all your credentials, why aren't you in the media? And I was like, I don't know how to do this. So it was one of those things that was started off with little media, and just in the last couple of years, I've been featured in over 400 media outlets. I've been published in Forbes, Success Magazine, ABC, NBC, Fox, Billboard, MSN, Yahoo Finance, Business Insider, on and on.
Yes, it does.
So what shocked me is I didn't achieve the level of financial success, financial freedom, even accolades until after my dance career. And I thought I was done. It was almost like, now I have this saying. I like to say, life is a dance. When you hit a roadblock, just remember to kickball, change, and
yeah, I can visually see all of it.
Because my life has been nothing but a kickball, change, and pivot.
Yeah.
Like on the dance floor and off the dance floor.
But the cool thing is that you didn't escape dance. You're still a part of it.
I'm in a new role, and I actually feel more aligned now than I actually feel like I've found my true gift and my true calling. And all of the dancing and the teaching and the choreographing and all the stuff that I did before was really just to prepare me for this phase of my life. And, even just thinking that Janet Jackson is going to be on the red carpet and I will be there too. Like, it just, yeah.
You have to pinch yourself.
There's like pinch me moments happening lately. And it's like, it's really wild because I didn't I didn't actually envision this for myself.
Well, because there's no blueprint.
No. And I didn't think that this was even possible. I thought, you know, to achieve greatness, I thought you had to become a big singer or a big actor or, you know, a big influencer. None of those things. So I was like, I always wanted my own talk show. My husband says, you talk so much, you should have your own talk show.
You really should have your own talk show.
It was always a joke. So I was like, you know what? This Business and Dance podcast is my own show.
I said the same thing. I was like, my show is going to be called Tiana Today.
Green light your own life.
You do.
So I said yes to myself. I'm like, I have my own show. And then a billboard. Well, nobody hired me for a billboard. So guess what? I put myself on Times Square.
Yes, you did. When I saw that again, I was like, oh my gosh, she is literally like when I say the term unstoppable, when I say life is limitless, I put your face there.
Thank
I
you.
really, really do, Menina, and I'm so thankful that we have reconnected in this way. I said this to you the other day. As you grow up and age and all that, your circle gets a lot smaller.
Yes,
And
I feel that.
Right? And when it does, you really start paying attention to who really matters to your day-to-day and who gives you the love and respect and vice versa. And that is what you and I have become. And we don't live in the same city.
I know.
This is probably the second time we've seen each other in
This year.
not just a year, but like 20 years.
Well, yeah, before that was, I think, X Factor.
But that's true. Yes. That was okay. So that was
2012?
that was 2011.
2011?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So we're,
something
I mean,
that.
like,
There was a huge gap.
There was a huge
And
gap.
we were never close as dancers.
No.
It was just in passing, like, oh yeah, there's the girl with the big hair and the little underwear. You knew how to you wore those underwear.
I
like,
wore
with
those
your
little
itty bitty body.
I did. I tried to tell my husband. Now I'm like, no, really. I just was wearing little boy underwear. He's like, I know.
But you could get away with it.
At that time, yes, I could.
You had the body. You owned it. And I remember, you know, all the Christina tour days and all that, and the Britney days and all that. Like we didn't work together as dancers, I don't think, at all. It wasn't.
We were always just at the same audition.
Yeah, I was just seeing you in passing at events, at auditions, and then working with you on the creative team with Brian Friedman for America's Got Talent, and then the X Factor were the 2 times we actually worked together. When that was again for just a hot minute.
Yeah,
it was very short, and it wasn't until you started to post. I don't remember what you were posting, but you were posting. I was like, "What are you doing?"
I was like, "Oh my God, Menina's talking to me." Because
it was just out of the blue. Because you were sending emails. I think you were sending newsletters, and
I did. So what I had done, I had talked to. I was asking for guidance at the beginning of 2024. I was looking for guidance. I'm just like, how do I remind myself who I am, but also put it out there in a public way? And so I had talked to Tia Rivera, who has the boot camp. I'm messing it up, but she's got her own thing too. And she's like, I was going on Instagram Live and just talking about things, and that's what I started doing. And so then I started talking about things, and when somebody asked me, what does your creative deck look like, and then what does a performance look like, that's when you really came into the picture to say, what are you doing with that? And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. The same question that people ask you.
Well, I was really out of curiosity. I'm like, what are you doing? Because like, are you about to like create some like creative director or something? Because you just kept talking about creative direction and creating mood boards and all this. I'm like, and then I don't even remember how it happened. I think I invited you to a Zoom call or something.
We had
because I was in Portugal it wasn't this summer, it was the summer before. We Zoomed, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, what is your vision? And then I did a whole ChatGPT coaching session with you.
I never seen ChatGPT go so fast in my in that 1 hour. I swear to you, I was a changed woman because you had presented a new way of thinking of business. I'm as a dancer, choreographer, creative director. You're a hired gun. You're not an entrepreneur. It is a very different mindset. And you had me open my eyes and my mind to something that was so foreign in that hour. And then you started ChatGPTing potential courses and things. And I said, what is this? What's happening?
You're like, we're going to create your offer right now. We're going to create the copy, your sales page, your sales strategy, your script.
And just like you with your business mentor, I did everything you said. And my life has changed because of it. And I really believe that some of these moments that you have, there's also like that one cheerleader, and you've had a couple one cheerleaders in your corner saying, yes, you can. And you were that for me in a moment where not a lot of people around me understood what I was even talking about.
Yeah, well, what you were doing was completely foreign and new. And Like there was no, there's tons of online coaching programs, but nothing for creative direction. So you definitely stepped into, like I stepped into my lane, you stepped into your lane, and you found your superpower. And actually, I just interviewed Mel Charlot last weekend, and she's like, you gotta say hello, give her a big hug, because she's like, and she gave you a shout out in the interview of. She's like, I learned this from Tiana and her Creative Director Pro Academy. And I was like, I'm going to be with her this week. She's like, please give her a hug for me.
Oh, I'm going to try not to cry right now. I just love how full circle these moments are, and she came into my life, later into the everything too. And it's just a deep bond. And
we go way back with Mel and I.
I know.
Like I've known her since she was a competition kid. She used to compete at 5, 6, 7, 8 Showtime. My parents' competition in Mont-Tremblant, Quebec. And then I taught her at her studio, like a little workshop.
Yeah.
And then I also created her very first website when she first moved to LA. And then I helped her build out like the systems for her classes, like to sign up online for workshops. And and we just stayed in touch over the years. I honestly haven't seen her in the flesh. And actually, lies. I saw her on Lizzo tour.
Oh, yes.
We connected a couple years ago when she was on tour in Vancouver. And so we go way back.
It's a superpower of yours to not only make decisions for yourself, but you see things in other people. They don't offer that much information. They don't care that much. Most people only care about their own orbit, their own nucleus of whatever they're going through day to day. And what is so incredible about you is that when you see something in others, you don't hesitate. You connect right away. And maybe because we grew up without social media, we know how to actually communicate with people. And so
So we send these long 10-minute voice notes.
I will listen to your 10, 15, 20-minute voice notes in any day. I'm like, oh, I got one from Menina today. Okay. How am I going to energize myself? Like,
Ready for the monologue is coming.
I love it. I love it. But that is so like, just stand in that power for a minute, because not a lot of people do that. And I think I'm a better mentor because I have you as an example of what that feels like. And so I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Well, I want to give you your flowers. And congratulate you. I mean, like, this was just an idea. I mean, even the in-person studio thing was just an idea. It was just like, hey, I'm going to be in LA.
Yeah.
Do you do a podcast?
And this was like the craziest day. I woke up. My daughter had her school pictures today. I had probably like 4 Zooms, and then somebody didn't show, so then I had time to work on the community and the membership and all this stuff. And then it was homecoming for my son. I was like, okay, I'm going to sit out. I was in the sun for 2 hours watching him soak. And then I was like, but I have a podcast. I'm going to make this work because, one, I want this to be a moment for us to connect. And 2, when you said you should do this, I was like, when Menina says you should do it, I'm like, it hasn't failed me yet. And here we are.
Greenlight your own life in green chairs.
Yes. I thought it was so
with your
fitting.
beautiful branded mugs.
Honey, if you don't know what the title is called, good luck.
Greenlight your own life.
Okay, so what is the future, Menina? Where are we going? How are we greenlighting this even further? Because I know you do it quietly, but what can you spill?
Well, I just started a pro membership just this month.
Okay, go on.
My Business of Dance mentorship is 6 months. But what I found is those first 6 months is like we're creating, I'd like to see your packaging, like your headshot, your resume, your demo reel, your casting profiles, your website. This is just your package. So I felt like dancers thought they knew what the next steps were, but I realized very quickly that they don't know. So that the pro membership is to, you just created your product. Now it's time to put your product to market and sell it. Your services of dance.
I love that you call the dancers, they are the product.
Yes.
I love it.
And then we package their product.
Yes.
And now it's time to put it to market and sell it. So that what I mean by that is submitting to agents or submitting to casting directors and doing the auditions and the self-tapes. And then if you get a booking, and how to navigate the contracts, and how to navigate negotiations, or how to navigate stuff that happens on the job or on set. And it's not just about booking one job, it's about getting more work and making it more consistent. So that's what the pro membership is for. Okay. So we've just introduced this month. So it's brand new. We have a new pro vault that of all these old guest coaching calls, we're just putting it in there that they can have access to. It's like a library.
Okay.
So we have anything from styling to nutrition to mindset, dealing with anxiety, fear, time management, dancing on cruise ships, how to get into unionized dance companies. So very like niche topics, so that they can focus on the areas that they need. Whereas the Business of Dance, it's a little bit more structured of 1-2 step. like these are the steps. Whereas the next phase is this is what you need based on what your goals are. And then we have a monthly call just for our pro members. But something else that's brewing in my head, which I haven't really shared publicly, so I guess I can share a little bit. Do tell. I want to create a brand ambassador program for the business of dance for my mentees.
Okay.
Because I feel like they are the product of the product.
Absolutely.
And who better than to be my street team than my own mentees? And I'm hoping after a year and a half with me that they should have all their marketing assets in order. They look professional. They have agents. They're starting to book work. They're leaders within their own little communities and people look up to them. And how did you do that? The business of dance.
Yes.
And I will pay them for those referrals. And then they'll get swag. So for every referral, they'll get paid and they'll get swag so they can get the whole gear from head to toe.
I love it.
And then if they get to a certain amount, I haven't decided what that is, but then I also want to feature them in a billboard in Times Square as well. Put them in the spotlight.
Hello.
And then feature them on our pages and doing lives and just elevating their brands, elevating their visibility, helping them to learn about how to make money and how in sales, which I think is such a life skill that you need to know how to not just sell someone else's product, whether you're Pepsi or, but sell yourself.
Yes.
Because you are selling yourself in every room you walk into, whether you're doing an audition or just a meeting or even just networking with people at an event. You have to know how to speak. You have to know how to talk and communicate with others and how to present yourself in the most professional way so that people buy your services as a dancer time and time again.
And that will carry throughout for the rest of their life. That doesn't stop with just dance.
Of course.
You know what
These
I mean?
are life skills.
You are teaching life skills when you go that deep.
Yes, and that's what the business of dance is intended for. It's to take the dancers that already have the talent, they already have the training, they already have the skills, but as you know, that's just a part of the equation. There's so much more that goes into creating a career. So we touch on, all the headshots, resumes, demo reels, casting profiles, social media marketing, photo editing, video editing, nutrition, taxes, finances, mental skills. So these are, you don't learn this in the dance studio. You don't learn this in academia either.
No.
I get college graduates with BFAs in dance going, I have this degree, but I don't know what the next steps are.
That's a mess.
Or I get kids that come out of the competition world and the parents like, well, I just spent $10,000 a year for the last 10 years, 100 grand, and my kid wants a dance career and I don't know what the next steps are. Or my kid is 10 years old and wants to get an agent and do this whole TV thing, commercial. I don't even know anything about that. How do I do this for my kid?
Yeah.
So, and that's where I come in. So I teach the business side.
The age range, what's the age range for your?
I initially thought this was going to be more of like a teen young adult program, but my youngest mentee started with me at 5. And I want to say my oldest was like mid-30s. I will say the bulk tend to be kids, teens, and young adults primarily. But I did take on a couple 5-year-olds. One of them I almost didn't take. She was like beginner dancer. I'm like, I don't know what I can do with you. But the mother was like, we will do private lessons. We will do extra training. She wants to, be on TV and commercial. I was like, I'm going to be honest. I've never worked with a child this young.
Yeah.
I don't know what the outcome will be. I will do my very best. And this child has 2 agents. She just booked a Netflix guest starring role. She just booked another movie playing a young Kennedy. She's done New York Fashion Week, Dallas Fashion Week, all the things. Now she's 7.
She's accomplished a lot in 2 years.
And she's still a beginner dancer.
I was just going to say she's only 7.
She's still a beginner dancer. So it's like, she proved to me, I was like, okay, so it's not just about having the training because that can come with time.
Yeah.
But just having the know-how, having the connections, having the will, the desire, the mother is such a go-getter. Like
it sounds like it.
She'll make things happen. And she tells me things now. She's like, oh, we just found this. You should tell the other mentees. Okay, great. Like she's on the hunt for things. So yeah, I also realized when you're dealing with children, it really is, it's the parents' efforts.
Yeah.
So, and that's another thing why we interview our families. It's not a free-for-all. You can't just sign up. Like you have to go through a whole screening process. Families. So we do a sit down to really because it takes a village.
Yeah.
I have to do my part. The child has to do their part. The parents have to do their part, and cohesively together, that's where the magic happens. So not only do I have talented dancers, but I have good people, which is really important to me.
That matters. And the way that you help me build my business is to have these calls with people before they enter my world. And it's a lot of work, I'm not going to lie. And it's a lot of pouring into people that say yes or say no. But I have learned to really love it so that I know for a fact that the people stepping into this 8-week intensive is just ready for the world, as opposed to somebody thinking, oh, maybe. I'm like, no, I actually need you to know that this is the best next step for you. And it just helps me connect deeper with them, because otherwise, if I'm talking to people that are on the fence, this won't land.
Right. Because if they're hesitant to just join your program, they're going to be hesitant to take action.
Yes.
And if they're hesitant to take action, they're not going to get the results. And guess who they're going to blame? You.
This one.
So it's very important to protect your ecosystem, which is why we screen everybody, because one sour apple can really spoil the bunch. And I've only maybe 2 that I can think of out of 300 that I honestly regretted accepting. It's amazing how 1 or 2 people can be very toxic very fast.
Really.
So,
and does something to your soul as a leader.
Yeah. So my team actually warned me against a particular dancer. And I saw her potential. And I said, she's got grit. She's got passion. I'm like, even if she needs just a little bit more training, I still believe in her.
Okay.
And I genuinely was like giving someone the benefit of the doubt. They've totally flipped the script on me.
That
and
sucks.
It was painful, because I'm like, I was rooting for you. I really was. And that hurt. But out of the 300 plus other people, fantastic, relationships. And it's just so beautiful. And I love the relationships and the connections that I have with all my clients.
How was the conversation with your team after that?
Well, we did realize that we need to trust our instincts a little bit better. And if we start seeing the signs early, because there were signs.
Okay.
Looking back, there were signs. I have learned a lot about people through this experience. Not even just with bringing in clients, but even bringing in team members too. Because I'm building a team, and I've had to hire and fire. And I've never been one to fire people. I've always been the one that just grits the teeth and we make it work and we stick it out. And it was my coaches like, Menina, you need to cut the fat. Like, if somebody is weighing down your business or your team, you need to let them go. And I'm like, but I really like them. And then this and that. They're like, Menina, this is business. This is not personal. Yeah. So I actually had to let go of someone just a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
And it's hard. It's never easy. But sometimes it's just the inevitable. You know in your heart you need to do it. You don't want to do it. Because I'm such a people pleaser. And it's a blessing and a curse. I care about people so much to the point where I would suffer myself just to make sure somebody else is okay and happy. But I realize that there's too much at stake here now. I can't. Your
business known for being great that you can't have liabilities at this point.
Yeah.
It's not.
Now I have something to lose.
Exactly.
Before I had nothing to lose. So I was like, okay, let's just try it. Now I actually have something to lose.
Yeah.
So now I got to protect, my ecosystem.
Honestly, I've had that a couple times in my life too, and it's hard. Leadership is not for anyone weak. Leadership is not for someone kind of wishy-washy and just letting things pass by. It is really tough.
You're always putting out fires.
Always.
Every single day is just, it's a kickball change and pivot.
Honey, at least you look good doing it. Okay, let's see. Ooh, I like this question. What's one belief about success you had to unlearn?
I am a firm believer that success is just a series of failures and never quitting. I used to think that I'm a recovering perfectionist, which I think every dancer is.
You said I'm a recovering perfectionist. Yes, okay.
And I think as dancers, we are, because we are
for sure.
very critical of, our dance teachers are critical of us. Pull up, chin back, chin up, tummies tucked, point your feet.
All the things.
It's just, you're just nitpicking at everything. So you're used to that. So then you become self-critical as well. And because of sometimes you get scared to do the imperfect thing. And I've learned to take imperfect action and just to do the thing.
Just do it.
Just do it. Do it messy, and you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And I tell that to even my mentees. Sometimes they're like, "Well, is this good enough?" I'm like, "If this is the best you got, put it out there."
Yep.
And then if you get something better, redo it and put it out there again. So taking that imperfect action, understanding that success is not linear.
Nope.
We like to believe that our life will be like this, but it's a whole lot of this.
It's like a trip at Disneyland.
Yes, as quick as you can come up is as quick as you can crash. And, just you think, even as a dancer, I'm sure you think you're on top of the world when you're on tour, you're making this money, and you come home and then suddenly nothing. Then you're going to auditions and you're not booking. And then the money starts to dry out. And then like it's a lot of highs and lows.
It is.
Even just on show nights, you get hyped up for the show, you do the show, and then it's done. You're alone in your room and it's quiet.
And the come down, it takes a long time to resolve.
There's a come down after, so there's dealing with those highs and those lows and knowing and accepting that it's all temporary.
I say that all the time.
When you're on stage,
Yeah.
embrace it and enjoy it because it won't last.
Yeah.
But equally, when you come down, just know that it's also temporary.
Yes.
And then you can pick yourself back up again.
Thank God for maturity. But you have to experience that to understand it, like truly understand it. Because everything that you're saying, no one said that this is how you should think. It's like an epitome, like, oh, okay, when I come off tour, I know I have to start from ground zero.
Yes.
But no one tells you that unless they go to you, of course. They're like, hey, prepare yourself. But these peaks and valleys, they also don't stop just because you're a dance.
It's just life.
It's just life.
Life is that way. But I think we experience that so much in dance.
Yeah.
Because you're as good as your last job. And one minute you're hot, the next minute you're not.
Yeah.
One minute you feel like you're kicked to the curb, and the next minute you're popular again. Like it's a lot on your mental toughness. Mm-hmm. And that is definitely one skill I've learned is mindset. Is having the right mindset going through all of this. Even when I'm having the bad days and I'm like, tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. This is temporary. In the moment, sometimes you get all like worked up and emotional, you get a good cry out, get a good scream out. And then afterwards, it's like, whoosah.
Yeah.
Okay. How am I going to go from here? What's kickball, change, pivot? What direction? Where am I going? Yeah. Just knowing that everything is temporary, even what we think, and success is not measurable either.
No.
Because you reach a certain milestone, you hit it, you're like, okay, check. Now what's the next?
What's the next?
What's the next thing? So I remember having this talk even with Brian Friedman when I interviewed him. It's like when you reach a certain level, you think that's the top, but then you get there and you're like, well, I got to set a new bar. Yep. And I got to set the new bar. And you just keep climbing and climbing. And, if I would have told my younger self, I would have said, just keep going. Because the best is yet to come.
If somebody told me that at 21 with everything that was going on, I wouldn't believe them.
No,
of
same.
where this life could take me and
Same.
and just how fulfilling it is with family and opportunities and having great relationships with friends. And those are the things that really make success matter, far beyond what you painted in your head as a child.
And success means different to other people. Some people it's monetary. Some people it's just freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom for me is everything. The freedom of location, the financial freedom, the freedom to be able to work when I want to, with whom I want to is a gift.
Yeah.
Because I know that not everyone has that privilege to be able to, I'm just going to go to LA for a few days and I'm going to take my daughter and I'm going to reconnect with my friends. And I'm going to shoot some podcasts today.
Girl.
And being able to just say yes and create the opportunities. We didn't go to an audition for this.
No.
We didn't have an agent tell us that you got called in for a podcast today.
No.
We just said, we're going to do it, and we're going to book it. And
we're going to make it happen.
And we're going to make it happen. We're going to create logos and stuff. And
thanks, Canva. Okay, I have one last question for you. You have to finish this sentence.
Okay.
Ready? I knew I was the green light when.
Ooh, Tiana, you're tripping me. I'm usually good with words. I knew I was the green light when I was a little girl and I said, Mom, Dad, I want to be rich and famous one day. I was 12.
Yeah.
I was watching Star Search and I said, I want to do that.
You knew.
Yeah. And then I had a lot of those aha moments along the way where, seeing Paula Abdul in concert at 12 going, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then seeing Janet Jackson Velvet Rope Tour going, I'm going to be on tour one day. Now, I always wanted Janet. Janet never happened.
Oh, that's where we're on the same page. I didn't get Janet either.
I didn't get Janet. I got to one of the close calls on the All For You tour, but didn't happen.
Me too.
But I did go on tour. I went on 4 tours, and I traveled the world, and I did the dance thing.
That's right.
And I created a family, and I have 3 children, and I get to do what I love every day, and I'm just happy to be alive. And where do we go from here?
Well, that's why we're here. We need to know.
I know, like what
you've already set the tone.
I feel like I've checked off so many boxes. My friend today, she's like, a book? And I was like, oh, don't get me started.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
I'm like, that's a later project. I need more wisdom in my life for the book, but I don't even know what I would want to write about yet. But
you're not far.
I don't know. I feel like there's still so much more that I have yet to even discover.
Yeah.
And I'm just open to like the universe. I'm here to receive whatever energy comes my way. I'm here to receive it and turn it into green light my own life.
You are the epitome of this podcast. That's why you're the perfect guest to be here. Thank you so much for...
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. This was really special. You can find me on all social media at Tiana Today and
Menina Fortunato. You can spell that MENINAFORTUNATO. The only one.
Yes, I love it. I love it. If you're watching or listening on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, give your girl some 5 stars and tell a friend. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao for now.